This is actually a victory for the politics of bigotry. This is not a victory for the United States. Look, this court has been wrong in the past. This court justified slavery. This court justified the internment, the gathering up of Japanese Americans and putting them in internment and concentration camps. They've been wrong before, and they're wrong today. And history in the future will show that they were wrong. This president came in promising to ban Muslims, to go after Mexicans, to ban immigrants, to keep the status quo. He's delivering on that promise. Unfortunately, the court today sided with him, but they're not going to have the last say. There's an election that's coming up this November, and voters will have another chance to decide who's going to lead this nation and what type of legislation and policies that they want to have, especially when it comes to immigration.
For a lot of people, this has been a moral issue. We've seen some of the incendiary tweets that the president has sent out about Muslims, about people from the Arab world. Just today, though, Justice John Roberts said that while the court looked at those tweets, they didn't rise to the level of consideration in this decision. They looked just at the executive order, the words that were in that order, and that's where they made their ruling. How much of a mistake did the court make, in your opinion?
Well, this was not a unanimous decision. It was a split decision. Only 5 of them thought that they agree with Trump. 4 of them did not. It was really close. So obviously, politics plays into this. And let's remember that the president is the one that appoints these members of the justice of the Supreme Court, and the more recent conservative justices are the ones that sided with this decision. It's, you can't take away the words that he said. He wants to ban Muslims, and that's what he's doing. Doesn't matter what he calls it. This is a ban on that. He wanted to go after Mexicans. Now they're being separated at the border. It is immoral, and regardless of how you want to do it, at the end, the intended goal is to keep immigrants out, to keep people of color out, to keep the status quo. And they're accomplishing that in different ways. At the border by executive order and policies to separate families. And when it comes to Muslims, they want to use the politics of fear to keep certain Muslims out. Yes, sure that that these are from specific countries, but they also happen to be Muslim majority countries. And the president himself said that he wanted to use this as a way to ban Muslims, and that's what he's doing.
So when it comes to the morality issue, you talked about what's happening at the southern border, people watching that, people outraged. But when it comes to this so-called Muslim ban or travel ban, also a moral issue. But the fact of the matter is that the justices said he can legally do this. How much does this tie your hands and organizations like yours? Do the justices say that this is legal?
People that were looking for the Supreme Court to bail them out or to be their salvation, it was wishful thinking. It comes back down to people power. Like I mentioned earlier, this Supreme Court has been wrong in the past about slavery. They said slavery was okay, that African Americans could not be full citizens. They said that you could intern Japanese Americans. But it took people power. It took the grassroots to mobilize and say, no, enough is enough. We're not going to tolerate it. And then the Supreme Court catches up. They're always behind the times. They're eventually going to realize their mistake, and they're going to come to terms, and history will judge these justices that they make the wrong decision. And eventually it's going to be up to the people to overturn this in the future by saying enough is enough, and we've already seen it. Hundreds of thousands of people protested this decision when the Muslim ban came out, and continue today. We saw their reactions today from across a wide spectrum of people. People are against this Muslim ban. They know what it is, and it violates our Constitution. Our Constitution said you cannot single a certain religious group out, and that's what's happening here. They're singling out Muslims.